The movie begins by showing a Fissurial high school student named Rohan Sachdev, upset because his girlfriend named Rijula Chawla, usually Mia, chose to transfer to St. Teresa High School. St. Teresa is a school for the rich and privileged, while Rohan is only a child from a low-income family who cannot afford the tuition fees at the high school. Even so, Rohan did not give up hope and intended to catch up with Mia by trying to enroll at St. Teresa High School through the sports merit route. The scene then switches to show Rohan and Fissurial high school students gathered in the hall and listening to the principal's announcement that an inter-high school competition called the Dignity Cup will soon be held. The principal of Fissurial High School had high hopes for Rohan in the competition, as Rohan was a very talented student in sports and the captain of the Fissurial Kabaddi's club. Kabaddi is a sport from India that consists of 5 people in each team, and the way to play is to attack, touching the line while avoiding the opponent. A few days later, Rohan was seen practicing Kabaddi with his teammates. But his teammates didn't play well together, which made Rohan upset, and he started comparing his teammates with Kabaddi teams from other high schools. One of Rohan's teammates, Abhishek Sharma, objected to Rohan's attitude and teased Rohan to go to St. Teresa's because his girlfriend was waiting for him there. Abhishek's words made Rohan angry, and they ended up arguing. Rohan returned home feeling irritated, but after his uncle told him he was accepted at St. Teresa High School, he became very excited and immediately ran to Mia's house to tell her. But Rohan decided against it when he saw Mia sleeping. The scene then switches, showing Rohan being helped by his friend to shop for school supplies in preparation for moving to his new school. After that, Rohan also says goodbye to his teachers and schoolmates at Fissurial High School, and his move makes them sad. After Rohan officially became a St. Teresa High School student, he immediately looked for Mia. Rohan finally managed to find Mia in a special dance practice room, and he also met a student named Shreya Randhawa who was practicing dancing. Shreya turns out to be the daughter of St. Teresa High School's owner, who is arrogant and often looks down on others. There, Rohan advises Shreya to harmonize her dance moves with the beat of the music. But Shreya gets angry and challenges Rohan to dance, and she gets even more upset because he turns out to be very good at dancing, making her embarrass herself. Since then, Shreya has made Rohan her enemy. The scene changed to show Rohan in the cafeteria with Mia. Knowing there was a dance competition at school, Rohan asked Mia to be his partner, but she doesn't answer and leaves. So Rohan immediately chases Mia and asks why her attitude has changed. Mia replied that life wasn't always the same and they had to be mature and behave according to their place. Mia then said that she didn't like Rohan's decision to move to St. Teresa High School and explained that his caste differed from hers. Mia's words shocked Rohan and upset him, but she ignored him and left. The next day, Rohan was seen performing the morning ceremony with other students at the school grounds and accidentally met Manav Singh Randhawa, who was Shreya's elder brother. Manav was a handsome and wealthy student and captain of the St. Teresa Kabaddi's club. Manav even received the Student of the Year award twice a row, making him very popular and liked by many girls, including Mia. The scene then switches and shows Rohan watching Mia practicing her dance from a distance as she has now moved away from him. Not long after, Shreya comes up to Rohan and tries to prank him by suggesting that he flirt with Miss Kuljit and impress her so that he can compete for the Inter-Student Cup. Shreya said it would make Mia want to get in touch with Rohan again. Rohan follows Shreya's advice, and while showing off his muscles and muscular body, suddenly, Miss Kuljit's assistant, a woman, comes and brings coffee. Rohan realizes that Shreya has deceived him when he sees the intimacy between the two of them. And finally, he also finds out that Miss Kuljit is a lesbian, so his efforts to seduce Miss Kuljit are futile. Even so, Miss Kuljit still allowed Rohan to participate in the selection. The next day, Rohan took part in the first selection, the 100-meter race, and the defending champion turned out to be Manav with a score of 11.6 seconds. While getting ready for the start, Rohan looked at Mia, but he felt jealous because she was always watching Manav. Shortly after, the race began, and Manav immediately took the lead, but soon Rohan overtook Manav, and even managed to set a new record to the amazement of the audience, including Mia. After that, Manav approached Rohan and congratulated him on the achievement. Mia also began to open her heart again to Rohan so that she was willing to be his partner for the dance competition. Later that evening, Rohan and Mia are seen taking a walk, where they both accidentally pass in front of a tattoo studio. Mia then asked Rohan to tattoo her name on his hand. Rohan agreed, but not now, because he said he wanted to fulfill Mia's dream and also promised to win the dance contest for her sake. Rohan's words made Mia happy, and they kissed. The scene changes, showing the final selection for the Inter-Student Cup by winning the Kabaddi match. Initially, Rohan is confident about winning the Kabaddi game because he feels he has mastered it. Unexpectedly, Rohan did not make the selection and received an injury to his ear. While Mia was treating Rohan, Manav suddenly came up to the two of them and invited them to his birthday party at the nightclub. Manav also said they should wear superhero costumes as the dress code for his birthday party. The next day, Mia and Rohan came to the nightclub wearing Wonder Woman and Spider-Man costumes. Unexpectedly, Rohan's schoolmates from Mussoorie High School also came there and asked Rohan to invite them inside. But Mia didn't agree, so she immediately pulled Rohan in, and they congratulated Manav. On the other hand, Shreya, who disliked Rohan, took advantage of the situation and told Rohan's schoolmates to go inside. Rohan's schoolmates immediately joined the party, but they caused chaos and were beaten up and thrown out by Manav and his friends. Rohan, who couldn't bear it, tried to go out, but his friends were already disappointed with him and said that Rohan they knew had changed. They felt that Rohan had deliberately invited them in to humiliate them. It also makes Mia feel upset and embarrassed, and only Shreya feels happy because her plan has succeeded in making Rohan suffer. The next day, Shreya and Rohan got into another argument, as Rohan deliberately parked his bicycle in Shreya's car park. Shreya doesn't stay silent and retaliates by spraying Rohan's pink bicycle, which makes both of them finally called by the dean of the school, Mr. Singh. Unexpectedly, Shreya's father, G. Randhawa, is also summoned by Mr. Singh because he cannot tolerate Shreya's mischief. Mr. Singh then compared Shreya to her elder brother Manav, who always excelled in St. Teresa. Hearing this, G was embarrassed by his daughter's behavior, then slapped Shreya in front of Mr. Singh and Rohan. G also warned Shreya not to repeat the same mischief. Shreya, who felt sad because she was always compared to her elder brother, finally vented her anger by practicing dancing. Rohan also felt sorry for Shreya, so he tried to approach her and wanted to make friends with her. But Shreya refuses, and since the dance competition is about to take place, she feels that if the two of them become friends, then her desire to beat Rohan will be reduced. The scene then changes, showing the opening ceremony of the dance competition between St. Teresa High School students. Rohan is paired with Mia, while Manav is paired with Shreya. Mia is eager to win the competition to gain popularity at St. Teresa High School, while Shreya wants to win the competition to convince her father about her dancing skills. Shreya did this to enroll in a dance school in London. Before the competition started, Rohan showed a tattoo on his hand with Mia's name, so Mia was happy and hugged him, and then the dance competition began. Rohan and Mia seemed to dance perfectly and beautifully throughout the round. Still, unfortunately, Mia fell in the last round and it made them both lose, so Manav and Shreya finally won the competition. The failure made Mia cry, so Rohan continued worrying about her. After that, Rohan then went to Mia's house to comfort her, but when he got there, he was surprised to see Manav and Mia kissing. Not only that, Rohan found out that Mia had deliberately given up on the competition for Manav. Rohan came down and surprised them both. A jealous Rohan then hit Manav and finally left them both. When Rohan arrived at school the next day, a student told him that the dean had called him. Unexpectedly, Rohan was expelled from St. Teresa High School for hitting Manav, the son of St. Teresa's owner. When Rohan was about to leave St. Teresa High School, Manav confronted him and apologized. Manav said he had previously warned Rohan that he did not like losing. Manav even demeaned Rohan in front of the students because he felt that he did not deserve to be at St. Teresa. Manav's attitude upset Rohan, and he then asked why Manav had involved Mia in his plans for the dance competition. But Manav instead advised him to look in the mirror so that Rohan realized who he was and who Manav was. Manav also emphasized that Rohan's caste was far below his. Manav's words instantly angered Rohan, and he immediately hit Manav again. But this time, Manav did not remain silent and beat Rohan back with the help of his friends. When Rohan was already battered, Manav again told Rohan that no one would dare to match him. Not only that, Manav again insulted Rohan by saying that he was a poor boy from a small town and did not deserve the title of Student of the Year but Loser of the Year. Manav then threw the helpless Rohan outside the gates of St. Teresa High School. After the incident, Rohan was down because Mia had betrayed him and lost his schoolmates from Mussoorie High School. A frustrated Rohan went on a rampage and messed up his room. But his aunt finally stopped his action. After that, his aunt advised Rohan to refocus on his talent because the effort will not betray results, and destiny will happen according to our struggle. Hearing this, Rohan became excited again. The next day, Rohan was wearing his Mussoorie High School uniform, coming to St. Teresa High School to meet Manav and his friend. Rohan then said that Mia would remain his ex-girlfriend and Manav would become a St. Teresa student who would be defeated by Mussoorie High School in the Dignity Cup. After that, Rohan decided to return to Mussoorie High School, but his teammates were now not welcoming him. In addition, Abhishek, now the team captain, made Rohan a reserve player, but Rohan was not angry and accepted everything gracefully. Unexpectedly, Shreya came to Rohan and invited him to work with her to defeat Manav. Shreya then hands Rohan a poster of a dance competition and invites him to pair up with her in the biggest dance competition in Dehradun city. But Rohan flatly refused Shreya's offer, much to her annoyance. Rohan's teammates also commented that Shreya had asked the wrong person, as she had asked a loser who had betrayed them at Manav's birthday party. But Shreya finally admitted that it was all her doing. She deliberately used Rohan's name and got them involved. Shreya then asked Rohan's teammates if they were sure they wanted to ruin their friendship just because of a misunderstanding. After saying that, Shreya left while Rohan's teammates finally realized and wanted to be friends with Rohan again. The next day, seeing Rohan, who has thought about his decision, finally came to see Shreya and accepted her invitation to participate in the competition. Even so, Rohan insisted that he wanted to participate in this competition only to highlight his talent and not to take revenge on anyone. After that, Shreya and Rohan started practicing together at Rohan's house and became close friends. Unexpectedly, Manav finds out about Shreya and Rohan's closeness, so he forbids Shreya to have anything to do with Rohan because Manav thinks Rohan approached her to get revenge. But Shreya ignores him because Manav forgets his younger sister's birthday, so she only celebrates her birthday alone and is only accompanied by her dog. However, Shreya was used to celebrating her birthday alone and never even got a birthday surprise from her family. But when Shreya went to Rohan's house to rehearse, she was surprised to find that Rohan and his family gave her a birthday surprise, and it was the first time in her life to celebrate a birthday this festive. Rohan asked why Shreya's birthday was not as festive as Manav's. Shreya then lied by answering that she deliberately forbade her father to celebrate her birthday. From that day on, Shreya and Rohan became closer and more than just friends. The scene then switches to show Shreya and Rohan taking a walk. Shreya finally tells Rohan she loves him, but Rohan thinks she is just joking. Long story short, the dance competition begins, and in the end, they both succeed in winning the prestigious competition because their dances are both very beautiful, and they have a strong bond. Shreya was very happy, but she didn't want to bring the trophy to her house and told Rohan to keep it. Shreya then explained that her family wouldn't believe her. She also said that the men in her house were not like Rohan. In the end, Shreya told Rohan that her mother died after giving birth to her, and from then on, she was considered a jinx by her father and her elder brother. That's why her father and her elder brother never celebrated Shreya's birthday. Hearing this, Rohan sympathizes and hugs Shreya, and they continue their journey home. Shortly after, Mia came to see Rohan and invited him to talk, so Rohan took Shreya and Mia to a cafe. Mia finally said she regretted her actions and invited Rohan to get back together. Hearing this, Shreya protests because she feels that Mia has behaved arbitrarily, and Shreya says that she also loves Rohan, so they both argue over the handsome Rohan. But Shreya accidentally spills hot coffee on Mia's hand, causing her pain, making Rohan defend Mia and tell her to leave. Rohan's attitude makes Shreya look disappointed, but she still leaves. The scene then changes, showing Shreya in the dining room with her father. Shreya again asks permission to continue her dance studies in London. But her father rejects her request because he feels his daughter can never excel in any field. But suddenly, Rohan came to interrupt their conversation. Rohan then tells Shreya's father that Shreya has won the dancing trophy thanks to her hard work. Rohan also told Shreya's father that she was not only the best dancer in St. Teresa High School but also the best dancer in the entire Dehradun city. Rohan was sure that Shreya's father would be proud of Shreya for her talent and asked Shreya's father to reconsider his decision. Rohan excused himself and put the dancing competition trophy on the dining table. Sometime later, the 29th Dignity Cup competition between high schools finally arrived. The contestants began to enter the field, including representatives from St. Teresa High School and Fisaralal High School. In the middle of the opening ceremony, Rohan's teammates mocked Manav and his team. So when the event was over, Manav and his team immediately pulled Rohan's teammates into the stands and beat them up. Not long after, Abhishek came and attacked Manav. Abhishek, the team captain, tried to save his teammates, but Abhishek was beaten by Manav and his team until he was badly injured, while one of his teammates came to Rohan and explained the situation. When Abhishek was about to be finished off by Manav, Rohan immediately saved him and beat Manav and his teammates. In the end, a fight between Manav and Rohan ensued. Manav initially got the upper hand, but Rohan turned the tide. Unfortunately, when Rohan was about to beat the cornered Manav, the organizers and the police came and separated Rohan from Manav. After the incident, the injured Abhishek was rushed to the hospital. Shreya came to visit Abhishek not long after, and she saw Rohan and Mia sitting together and holding hands. Shreya approached them and sat next to Rohan. She then apologized to Mia for accidentally spilling coffee on her. Rohan then held Shreya's hand, but Shreya warned Mia not to hurt Rohan again, and she left them. This made Rohan immediately catch up with Shreya because he was worried. But she smiled and thanked him because, thanks to Rohan's help, her father finally allowed her to study in London. Shreya explained that she would continue her studies at the London School of Dance and leave at the end of the semester, but she would still see Rohan compete. Rohan was very happy, but he was also saddened to be separated from Shreya. Rohan finally said that he also loved her, but Shreya lied by claiming that she didn't love him anymore. Not long after, Abhishek regained consciousness, so Rohan rushed to see Abhishek's condition in his room. But Rohan's teammates blamed Rohan for the incident, because he had challenged Manav and his team. Unexpectedly, Abhishek, who had hated Rohan, now turned to defend Rohan because Rohan had saved his life. Abhishek also said it was not Rohan's fault and felt they were a team but never played or acted as a team. Abhishek then said that they should now try to work together as a team and show their skills. Abhishek's words immediately made his team realize and become excited. After recovering, Abhishek, Rohan, and his team immediately practiced harder to win the Dignity Cup. The Dignity Cup competition finally began. The opening race was the running race, and Manav managed to win the 100-meter and 400-meter races despite Rohan's early lead. But after that, Rohan managed to bounce back and won the 800-meter race. Fisaralal High School representatives won several races on the first day, but their points were still far behind St. Teresa High School, which was at the top of the table. On the second day of the competition, unexpectedly, Fisaralal High School, which was not favored, won the kabaddi match. They even made it to the finals and would play St. Teresa High School, the defending champions for 2 consecutive years. Mia was so proud of Rohan's achievement that it made Shreya and Manav jealous. In the evening, a very happy Mia wanted to kiss Rohan. Still, Rohan rejected her while explaining that he didn't want to repeat the same mistakes and just wanted to focus on pursuing his dream of becoming the best student. The scene then switches to show Rohan meeting Shreya before the final match. Rohan asks Shreya to watch him compete in the final, but she teases him by saying that one woman is not enough to encourage him. Hearing this, Rohan explains that Mia is his past, while Shreya is his present and future, and he reiterates his feelings for Shreya. In the end, Shreya said that she had loved Rohan all along, and they were officially dating. The final match between Fisaralal High School versus St. Teresa High School began. St. Teresa High School initially took the lead halfway through the first half, but Fisaralal High School caught up and won the first half. Manav and his team took no chances and deliberately played rough. First, they injured Rohan's shoulder, beating Rohan and his teammates mercilessly, so Manav and his team won the second half by a landslide. During the break, Mr. Pahipal, the coach of Fisaralal High School, realized that his team was helpless due to injury and advised his team to give up. But Rohan refused because he was unwilling to because his team had been cheated by violence. So Rohan, who was also in pain, returned to the field to continue the match. The audience and commentators were amazed by Rohan's team determination and never gave up, and continued to score number after number, until finally, Fisaralal High School won the competition. The movie was closed by showing Rohan, who finally got the Student of the Year trophy while shifting Manav, the previous defending champion. The moral that can be learned from this movie is to remain enthusiastic and never give up on fighting for something, whether in terms of love, dreams, or ideals.